So the last 2 weeks in a row, we have done a structured meeting. We thought it was time to take a break from that for a week and have a open office hours so that folks can have a chance to get their questions answered, anything that's going on with them. So hi, Ani. Thanks for joining. And so if anybody has anything that they would like to discuss, the floor is open and you're welcome to share.
Hey, Brian, how you doing? This is Cameron.
What's up, Cam?
What's going on? I do have a question, and I believe I asked you this like when I first started with you guys this year. At any point, have you guys given it any thought as far as like syncing up active menus with like Go High Level to where we can kind of track the customer's journey as far as like, they come in as a lead, first time buyer, regular, et cetera, and having automation fire off based off of where they are in that journey. So is that something that you guys ever thought about? We tried something Zapier, but that it didn't really work. But is there any talks about maybe having some type of API connection, Go High Level?
Yeah, good question. So if anyone doesn't know, Go High Level is a CRM and marketing software. So the question is, any plans to integrate with those guys? So the long-term plan is to have an app in the Go High Level marketplace to where you can just add the app to your sub account and connect it, kind of automatically to the instance of ActiveMenus that the restaurant's on, to have the customer data flow freely back and forth. We actually had a guy here on our team who was working on that specific project. And he got about, from what I understand, and I'm no developer, but from what I understand, he got about 90% of the way done with that project, and then he left. Went to work somewhere.
Wow.
So that work is there. It's just we have not replaced him yet, and no other developer has had the bandwidth to pick up on that project and take it across the finish. And I took a look at it myself just to see, is there anything I could do? And again, not being a developer, there was nothing. So the answer is yes. Dan, I can't give you a time frame on when that will happen, but I'm pushing for it pretty hard. At least every other week. I'm sure the guys get tired of hearing about it. We have a morning call every morning with me and the management and the developers, and I'm sure they get tired of hearing me on that call bringing it up. But I think it would be invaluable for the reseller to use High Level and resell. It would be a game, really. So I'm really pushing for it hard. We'll see what happens.
Okay, right, cool. Second question I have, the AI bot, like the test with the prospect yesterday, there's like a kind of like a little lag as far as the hesitation, as far as when they ask, hey, how can I help you? And then they say, hey, do you have XYZ? And it's like almost like a 15 to 20 second before talk. Is that something that's aware of, or is that just how it is with the test bot?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a test bot thing. I forget what the test bot is like 5 times slower than the live bot or something like that. If Anthony was on here, I don't think he is. He's not. If he was on here, he could tell you exactly. But yeah, I mean, it is because we give that landing page out, right, where people can freely create as many test bots as they want and use them as much as they want. Like, we just don't use as expensive of a model to do that, right?
Gotcha.
As the live, because it would obviously cost more money, and we're just letting anybody. We're just using a less expensive model for that, just because of that.
Okay, so the live one, once they go active with it, it's not that slow.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Cam, I believe you're the only one here that was here the last 2 weeks. Any value that you've received out of that, or anything that you've been able to?
Yeah, no, it was actually, just to be totally transparent, I'm now getting kind of like putting the boots on like this week and definitely next week. So I haven't really implemented anything other than restaurants reviews and stuff like that you said last week, and kind of like, seeing what the 1-star is, and just basically just doing some research. So that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, that's not nothing. That's the behind the scenes work. It's not always flashy and closing deals. Sometimes it's grinding away, getting the prospect list in order and getting ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, Julio. Welcome in.
Brian, I was just going to say, Cameron, I'd love to hear your feedback, but I think for next week's structured webinar, so I think Brian mentioned, sorry, I joined the call a few, we're going to rotate weeks. So alternate weeks will be office hours. And then the next week after that will be a structured webinar, just so it gives you guys time to digest that information and implement it, which Cameron sounds like you're doing a great. So for next week, we wanted to really focus in on the loyalty rewards program that's built into ActiveMenus, and just kind of show you guys all the ways you can use that to your clients' advantages, and like different marketing techniques and strategies that so if that's something that let us know, because that's kind of what's planned for next.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Me too. It sounds real.
Hi, Dan. I don't think I've been in a call.
First time on the call, so I'm sad I missed the last.
Okay, there's a recording, so Brian, we can share that with Dan.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Totally.
Good.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Julio joined, right? What state?
Hey guys.
What state?
Right now we're still in Texas, but I think in a couple of weeks we're gonna head to New Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah. And by the way, I missed last week's call, so if you can also send me last week's recording, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Brian, are we housing that on the portal? I wasn't sure.
We have not up till now, but that's a really good idea to do that.
Okay, we'll add like a page and with like Vimeo links or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Other suggestions for topic deep dives for the structured webinars. So I'm kind of looking at what would be valuable for you guys. So Dan, I know you weren't here and you'll definitely watch the recording, but we on sort of branding yourself as a restaurant tech partner, where restaurant owners aren't super versed in technology and they're sort of inundated by these large tech companies and kind of bully tech companies like DoorDash and Uber to get bullied into these high commission rates, where you as a reseller can position yourself as their restaurant tech partner who's really looking out for their best interests when it comes to tech integrations and like ordering direct and sort of mastering their own digital. So the next week's, as I mentioned, is going to be about a deep dive into the loyalty rewards program and how to utilize that to not only increase your repeat purchases, but then in your lifetime value of the customer, but to convert also third party. So topics like that, I mean, there's probably a ton that are on your minds that we could deep dive into. And I just want to make sure I'm targeting those topics so that it's most relevant, valuable to you guys.
Yeah, that would be great. I would, as much as you guys can share about how is the best way to approach a business. I'll give you an idea what I do. I do basically what I'm targeting there. I know I should probably be hitting more of the bigger restaurants and stuff. I'm just trying to get my way in the door here. So I'm trying to do. So I would love to learn anything, how the best way to approach, how to find a restaurant that needs this. If they already have a service, what's the best way to attack? Or is it always just the beginning, reach out to Brian? What do you guys think of that?
Ani, do you want to, or I can, if you want, just give like a 1,000-foot overview of the last two meetings? Maybe just like a.
I mean, I'm happy to do it. I actually want to pull up the slides just so we have a visit. If you just give me 1 second. Reseller webinars, because the question you just asked, Dan, is like perfectly fitted with that, where we went through how you should position yourself, but also qualifying your prospect so that you don't spend a ton of time onboarding, let's say a mom, but then they have like 2 orders a month, right? And so, and potentially it's not even a restaurant where you can get their order volume to increase. It's just because the functionality of the restaurant is not there. So it's a balance between approaching the right restaurants and being in that niche of, you know, local or mom and pop, but then also qualifying your leads so that you're spending your time wisely.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let me pull that up.
Hold on, honey. I got you. Previously on Active Menus.
We're like a Netflix on-demand show right now. All right. So this was, I'm just going to go really quickly through that presentation. So we talked about huge the restaurant tech opportunity is. We saw during COVID, you know, how many orders went digital, and it's just been growing ever since. So restaurants are investing 3 to 6% of their revenue back into technology, whether that's point of sales, different you know, tablets or hardware or other integrations or CRMs or marketing, whatever that may be. They are investing because they understand that is the wave of the future, right? You can't be sort of like small paper mode operation anymore. So the restaurant tech market is growing 15 to 20% annually versus just the 5% year over year growth for restaurants. So that just kind of shows you that acceleration of growth in the restaurant tech department. And that's where you guys fall in, because however you're bundling your services, whether you're a marketing agency and you're also offering online ordering to your website, you know, if you're also selling a POS system and you want to also sell online ordering, at the end of the day, you're a consultant to them on the best tech integrations for their business. So you fall into this fast acceleration. We went through your personal branding, where your core positioning as a restaurant tech partner is essential. We talked about how your why is so critical. I mean, in sales, you know, whatever industry you're in, we always talk about what's your why, what's your purpose, what's your story, how do you create an emotional connection with that client. And you know, restaurants are so busy, right? Restaurant owners are juggling their staff, food ordering, you know, customer complaints, phone orders, the rent, utilities, leaks, I mean, everything, right, on a daily basis. So if you can alleviate the tech aspect for them and like make that an easy part of their day, and then they can trust you whenever they have a question or they want to add something onto their tech stack, then at that point you become their restaurant tech partner, and they trust you. Whereas when a kind of like salesy DoorDash guy comes in through the door, they already know, like, this guy's trying to rob me of he just wants whatever is gonna, like, you know, make his bottom line better, and he's not in the best interest you know, of me and my family, essentially, because so many of these restaurant businesses are so key positioning points. 30 to 40% of commissions, you know, are kind of, we call them robbery disguised as convenient. There are different messagings that you can take and make your own, so you'll watch this later. We talked about David versus Goliath kind of situation. It's a really you can go through different openers. I think I promised giving like a list of opening messages, and I forgot to deliver that. So that just reminds me. Share with you guys a document that I have kind of running on my side, good openers, and sort of like how you can plug in different messaging. Brian, chime in. I'm just kind of like going through the slides really quickly.
No, you could. The link to a book I really like called Find Your Why by
again, like your origin story, like, why are you fighting for restaurants? Who care? Why should owners trust you? And be authentic, right? It doesn't have to be some fake elaborate story. It could be super simple. It could be like, you know, I grew up working in restaurants, so I understand. I empathize. During COVID, you know, I saw the struggle of restaurants, and that really, or hey, I'm really good with tech and I'm a foodie, like I combine the two, this is my passion. Whatever it is, like, you lead with your story, and every sort of messaging touches upon that why story in some form or another. Not that you're pushing that story in every, you know, touch point, but the backdrop of everything that you do or how you approach things reflects upon. So understanding the restaurant owner psychology, right? So if you lead with features, they're going to be like, here's another salesperson trying to sell me more things. How much is it going to cost me? What if it doesn't work with my other stuff? It's going to be a waste of money. But if you lead with solutions, and we keep saying, lead with solutions, not features, then it's like, okay, someone finally understands my pain points and they understand save me money or help my business succeed and excel. So the key here is leading with solutions and not features. We talked about the psychology. So, as you're doing your research and you're looking into who your prospects are, if this is a restaurant that you've maybe personally visited, the food's pretty good, like, hey, maybe their management could be a little better, but like, I totally get this restaurant to go from a 3.5 to a 4.5, then potentially you bundle our Google Review, which is a phenomenal feature in ActiveMenus, and then that becomes a selling point for getting them on ActiveMenus because you've now provided a solution to their problem. You're not just selling a feature.
Yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily be a bundle with the active menu sphere, right? It's according to what your core competencies are and what you typically offer. So, like for instance, maybe like you're like Cam and you use high level to do, I don't know, social media marketing, right? So you bundle social media marketing with online ordering, or maybe you do reviews through high level. You can bundle that with the online ordering, right? It's, providing a complete solution for the restaurant and having that consultative sales mentality, right? Where you're not just going in and pushing what you think that they should have or what you want them to have, but you're uncovering the pain points and then putting together a package that solves those pain points.
Right. Yeah, not a one size. We talked about the portal, how professional materials build credibility. Canva templates in there that you can brand. There's different marketing sheets, and then we also asked you guys of like, hey, if you want something built, design as a flyer or something specific for what you're seeing out there, let us know, because chances are we can make that into a templated version and then all the resellers can use it. So your suggestions are super valuable, and just hit us up and we'll get. We talked about building a prospect list. So, this was kind of what I was saying, Dan, like qualifying, I should say, your prospect. So some parameters to look for, how much is their monthly revenue? Are they growth minded? Do you see that they have, a good amount of open hours? Do they have delivery already? What kind of POS system are they using? Are they active on social media? Is the owner involved, or is there some manager who doesn't care and just runs the day-to-day ops? So these are all, we went through different methods of searching on Google Maps or third-party apps or social media to find those types of restaurants. We did an example of Google reviews boosting, so you can go and watch that. And then we assigned some quote-unquote homework on create your brand and your personal message, define your origin story, define your why, understand how that message goes through all your touch points, come up with a strategy for yourself. Are you going to focus on hyper local? Like maybe you go into a 5-mile radius if you're in a dense area. Are you going to focus on mom and pops? But then how do you qualify? Do you have your materials ready? When you walk in, what are you walking in with? What are you with? And then the homework was really to just create those top 25 prospects.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. I don't think I mentioned it last time we went through this, but Cam's heard me say this. I'm a really big fan of when you're visiting the same cuisine type restaurants over, because what happens is you start to hear, the same competitors over and over again. You start to get to a really good understanding of how that type of business works. Like a pizza restaurant operates completely differently than a Mexican restaurant, right? Operates completely differently than a steakhouse. So you start all those, the rhythm of those types of restaurants, and also, like I said, the problems that they have, the solutions you can. And once you visit, 4 or 5 of them, it doesn't take very many. You develop this really neat ability to tell the future, because when you start the conversation, you already know where it's going to go because you've had that same conversation 4 or 5. So I think it's really helpful to pick a cuisine types to start with and really focus those before just going, to anyone that happens to be nearby.
Yep. Any interesting restaurant interactions this week, Julio, while you've been on? I don't know if he's still with.
Not really right now. I think I'm in the process of just trying to not convince, but move forward with a couple of restaurants. And one of them is actually coming on board with a couple of locations all at once. We're working on his website first because he was what's the name of the company? Menufy. And they were paying too much fees on their Clover and everything, so I was able to switch them to another POS system, and we're also connecting menu. So, but not really like interesting.
Well, I mean, converting off of Menufy is interesting because I think the feedback is like you saving them on fees, right? And if they have different locations, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, because like this one guy with Menufy, he's only taking like the online orders for pickup from them, and he was hesitant about activating the deliveries, but they also do per commission. So he was about to pay like 12.5% or something like that commission. So I told him, hey, instead of paying commission, just do a flat fee of $2 per order, and you're good to go.
Was that commission for just pickup?
Delivery.
Oh, for the delivery. Okay.
Yeah. No, I think the only company that does is DoorDash. They have a 6% pickup. I don't know if you but recently one of my clients he's still in DoorDash, but little by little he's noticing that we're getting more orders through us than DoorDash. And he screenshot the other day, he sent me like the breakdown of the commissions, but DoorDash has a 6% on pickup orders.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's not to mention the customer still pays the 10 to 15% service charge on those orders.
Oh yeah, no, that they're the value that I'm offering them to the restaurants that have DoorDash and all this, because a lot of them tells me like, oh no, but I raise my prices. I always break it down for them, and I let them know that at the end of the day, if they're paying 30% and they raise their prices 30%, they are still. And I always give them that example. Like if your product is $10 and you raised it at $13, they're gonna charge you 30% of the 13, not the 10. So it's still gonna be more, and you're still gonna give them 90 cents, 9% of instead of paying 30%, you're paying 9%, and you are still helping them make more money, and you're lowering your sales because your clients are noticing that your prices are more expensive on DoorDash. But with us, your prices stays the same across the board. So obviously that's gonna help you increase sales. You don't pay any commissions. You only pay a $2 flat fee per order, and you're good to go. So that's when they see the value.
Somebody paid attention in math class. Well done, Julio.
No, I not to brag about it, but I'm pretty good with numbers. So when like they tell me a number, I'm like this.
Cameron, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, that's kind of like as far as like what Julio said, as far as the 6% that DoorDash is charging for pickup and stuff. Because once again, this is something that I'm actually starting to focus on more than any other clients and stuff like that. So I don't really know a lot about, different positions and like what just Julio said, as far as like the percentages and just all that's out there to equip us with some value that we're bringing in, so we can basically show a big differentiator when it comes to picking us DoorDash and all the others.
So are you saying like 1 week dedicated to just like comparison analysis?
Yeah, just so we understand what's out there and what the market is experiencing. That way we can come in with more of a strategy to help them see the clear differentiator.
Yeah, that's a great topic.
That's a good idea. And also maybe just throwing in something out there so that if you do prepare something like that, one of the things that I noticed that works a lot for me is show them the value in a long term. So like what I do with them is like I don't just break it down for like, like for one item. I'll break it down for like the whole month or maybe even the whole year. And if at the end of the year I'm like, look, $30,000, they go nuts. They're like, oh yeah, let's do it, because they see the bigger number. Kind of like what I did with my cousin. She's the one of the her story on that one. She was making about $15,000 in sales in DoorDash, and she saw. Well, I'm not saying like every month, but that one month, particularly was the month of April. She told me that she made $15,000 in sales in DoorDash, but she only got deposited about $10,600 or something like that. And I told her, like, look at that times 10. That's more than $40,000 that you would be saving, and use that for a vacation or for something, rather than keep giving it to DoorDash, and they don't even come help you clean the kitchen. And that's something like I always like to feel anything like they don't even come and help you clean the kitchen, and it's kind of like, okay, but they should.
I love that statement at the end, because that like hits them in the emotional pit, right? Of, yeah, I do all that hard work and I'm here late cleaning the kitchen, and they get all that money. So that's a perfect emotional sort of closing.
Yeah, that's great. One of the things I wanted to do on this call is I wanted to just take a poll. Who here is aware of monthly pricing?
Me.
Am? Anyone else? Julio? Dan? No?
Yes, me.
Oh, you are? Nice.
I don't think I am. So please share.
Share for sure. So what we noticed, what we were taught of resellers, was that some restaurants that they're onboarding, they're just not making a lot of money off of, right? Because we're a per order company historically. And so, if you're making $2 for every order that comes through a restaurant system, and you onboard a smaller restaurant that's maybe in a rural area that's not going to do a lot of orders, you're just not going to make a lot of money. And so the resellers were telling us, look, it's just not worth it in that case for us to do this. And we said, well, we understand. So Ani and I discussed it, and we really put our heads together on this for, weeks. And we came up with this model to where, okay, well, what we can do, monthly fee that will include the online orders and voice AI, and it will include the custom mobile app for the restaurant, the Apple stores, and it will, of course, include everything that normally comes with it, the promotions and the and all that good stuff. And what we've done is we priced that at $150 a month. And then you as the reseller can mark that monthly fee up to whatever you'd like. So if you can go out and sell that bundle, let's say for $400 a month, then you make, what is that? $250. I'm not quite as fast as Hooters, but $250 a month. Just to compare that to, let's say, owner.com, which offers almost everything that I just said, except for the voice AI. As far as I know, they don't offer that this time. They charge $500, 5% to their restaurants, and they have just tons and tons and tons of restaurant customers. So that's the deal with the monthly fee. I definitely think $400 a month is a good list. You could do more. It also makes bundling easier, right? So if you typically do social media management, you typically charge $200 a month. Maybe you can add in the online ordering and charge $5 or something like that, right? So you can make zero on the monthly. Then restaurants don't have to worry. They still have to pay credit card processing, but of course they get that if they prefer. But some restaurants prefer the all-in monthly pricing, and it's really good when you're dealing with a smaller restaurant, because it just makes it worth it to deal with them. If not, it would not be worth your time nor our time to offer them. But we do not enforce this being on any restaurant. You can choose a model for any restaurant that you have, but it just makes sense to have the lower volume restaurants on monthly and the higher. Any questions about that or how to present one? What's up, Julio?
Yeah, what I was looking at, like for example, because I do have, it's not a resentment, but kind of what pushed me into doing this with online ordering. It was because I lost a customer to owner.com because of what they offer.
Mhm.
And I said, well, pretty much offer everything that they don't offer is online ordering. But I do know that part of the price of paying $500 a month, they also offer the SEO feature, but that's not included in the price that you use SEO uh, tool or something that allows them to boost their sales by by doing the online ordering with us, right? Or no?
I'll
Or
tell you what you do, Julio, because I've talked to many, many people who came to us from owner, and this is what I always advise them to do. And I don't tell them which one, but I tell them go out wherever you want to go and pull up a free SEO tool. There's a ton of them. Okay, I'll tell you, I typically don't give suggestions to the restaurants because I don't want them to think I'm pushing them one direction or any of these, I think is another one. Pull up any of them and put in that restaurant's information. I promise you, they're going to be hovering around 50% on SEO. The whatever owner is I know SEO wise, but it's not working. And you can prove that to the restaurants very easily.
right, the way that I uh, kind of fight that off is because I do offer a. It's not an SEO because SEO is more complex on the website and keywords and all that.
Sure.
But I did offer a Google management service, which what it does, is advantage of that. Google has open up your Google Maps. You're gonna see something that says latest around or something like that, like in the area.
Mhm.
And that is a free feature that basically, like when a business is active on the profile. See, because there's a lot of the thing with these business owners, they don't pay attention to Google. They just like to be on Google, but they don't pay attention to it, like reply to reviews, post pictures,
Sure.
post updates, none of that. So that's one of the services actually helping. Like, well, use restaurants. That's my cousin's the Taco Madre. I don't do the social media. Um, she does her own social media. I do work on her Google, and her sales are good. You know, she's doing like
Yeah.
70, over 70, 80 orders a month.
Google is
Um,
huge. We have a reseller, Chris Zalls, who's actually worked for Excel restaurants right now. And he says that you should fill out every single question that Google asks, no matter
Yeah.
how silly or weird it is on the Google business profile. He's like, if it asks like where the entrance is, like take a picture of the front door. Like,
Yeah.
he says give Google all the information that it wants will be favorable to you in the long run. We have a Google Fish, as I'm sure you know. And so that with that, we feed the menu data, all of the individual menu data to Google in the way that Google wants to receive it. So what that helps with is like if somebody searches, what's the best tacos near me? Google knows not only that that Taco Madre has tacos, but that Google knows what tacos they have on their menu because we structurally directly into their system. Google typically, and we're not the only ones to do that, of course, but doing that versus not doing that is much better, right? Google likes that.
Right.
So yeah, but you good point. Yeah, definitely. High level, the listings, you can list them on a bunch of different listing pages very quickly with their online ordering link. And of course, the more listings you have, the more those are backlinks, right? Which helps you out with SEO. I would argue doing those two things is going to be better than any type of on-page SEO the owner might be doing. Which I have a sneaking suspicion that that's just a way for them to sell their website, right? It's to say that it's SEO, it's
Yeah.
SEO. So is everybody else's, right? So I don't know that. I don't know exactly what owner.com does for the SEO. I do know they push it heavily. And I do know that I went through and went through the free SEO tools and they never scored very well. So, take that for what it's worth. It's not my opinion. That's just what's out. But for sure. But also owner.com does provide that mobile app, that free mobile app at for that $500 we're going to be providing too. So definitely something good. We actually just had our first restaurant sign up. We're happy about that. He came in at $250 a month. But it was interesting. He didn't even want online ordering. He didn't even want a mobile app. All he wanted was voice AI. He said, I don't want anything but voice AI. We said, well, it's still $250 a month. He said, that's fine. So, you know, the value's there. You know, this guy came to us directly as a lead from our website, and, you know, he signed up same day. Good case study.
If a business that is already using the service install the AI, let's say like they're paying per order and all that, but they want to install the AI, how much is that a month?
Yeah, so if they want to install the AI, they can continue to pay per order. It will be the same amount for the AI orders as their online orders. So, or they can switch everything to the two and just pay that flat. So, they still
so
have,
if they're on the per order, they can just install it for free?
yeah, absolutely, no cost.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Yep.
that's another selling feature that we can use too.
Absolutely. Restaurants love the voice AI. I have a lot of real examples of it. We actually had a phone call just the other day. It was kind of funny. The dude kept the voice AI on the phone for like 20 minutes, and he was just going on and on. He was an older guy. I think he was drunk. I think it was a Saturday, and it was a funny phone call to listen to. For those of you who are a little older, you might remember a telephone crank yankers back in the day. Made me think about that. But he was just going on and on. I was just thinking, like, what if this was a restaurant's employee that had to stay on the phone with this dude for 20 minutes while he went on and on about, you know, the football game he was watching, and, you know, how you have to go up a bunch of stairs to get to his house and this and that. And, you know, it's a huge value for restaurants because what is the most expensive thing in a restaurant for a restaurant owner? Is it the rent? No. Is it the food? No. What is it? It's labor. It's always labor every time. So if you can show them a way to reduce their labor costs and give their customers a better experience, hey, where do I sign up? How much is it going to cost? Let's go.
So Brian, after that was a funny call that we were listening to. And so, you know, we were discussing internally how the owner must be so happy to have missed that call and not had to handle. So I was kind of thinking about taglines as we're promoting voice AI. And I like this one the best. It says, your best missed calls yet. So it's like owners would be happy to miss these calls. So right now, they're frustrated that they miss calls, which leads to loss of revenue. But with our voice AI, they're excited to miss the calls because they know it's being handled and they don't have to, you know, go through some of these really annoying callers sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think in any capacity can relate to that, right? You know, there's people that are just difficult to deal with, and that, you know, that takes that off your plate.
Question. Have you, like, what's the percent that you have seen from a restaurant, you know, switching from online ordering only to using AI?
Oh, it's like, you mean just like the number of orders that come through our system versus?
Yeah, like, one of the accounts I have, like so was it? And like they doing probably right now, maybe 80 orders a month online. So if they was to go on with, you know, adding AI to take the phone orders, you know, what have you seen as far as that increase?
Yes, about 4 to 5 times as many orders when you add the voice AI on.
Okay, wow.
It's 2025, right? It's 2025. You would not believe it, but a lot of people still like to pick up the phone and call the restaurant. A lot of people do because, you know, I don't know. They either don't trust that the restaurant's going to be open or what, but they like to pick up the restaurant. A majority of a restaurant's takeout orders are done over the phone. And so being able to capture those is huge.
Yeah. And honestly, like as techie as I am, I do that all the time because I'm always on the go. And I know that by the time I find this website and their online ordering button and then have to go through the menu options, and then I have to figure out where it is, and then put my payment information. Literally phone call, I already know what I'm getting, and I'm just gonna go pick it up in 10-15 minutes. So I call on the way in my car, it's done, like it's easy peasy. So I think there's a lot of those cases where someone's just busy and they need to get the order in and they already know what they want. So that AI voice handling is not going to be a complicated call. It'll be probably most of the calls will be pretty straightforward with people who typically call your place and know what they're ordering in advance.
Yeah, and even if they don't necessarily know, if they have some sort of idea, the voice AI is very good at offering suggestions. If they're just like, hey, I'm looking for something light. And I mean, I think we heard a call about like that the other day. I'm just looking for something light. Oh, well, we have a salad option, a soup option, or a grilled cheese option. It's very conversational in that way.
And from an analytics standpoint, so much of our inbound on ActiveMenus.com is from restaurant owners searching AI voice ordering. So it's definitely something that's on their minds.
It's something they're very curious about. Like they want to know more. They want more information, and they want more information than they can just get looking at a website. They want somebody to talk to about it. They want to be able to ask you guys questions. I think I said this last week, but it remains true. The tech landscape, the restaurant technology landscape changes so quickly. It's hard for us as people in the restaurant tech landscape to keep up with all the new companies that come out every day, all of the new technology that's constantly evolving. I go to 2 or 3 conferences a year just about restaurant technology. It's hard for me to keep up. And so imagine being a restaurant owner and having everything else to deal with, and on top of that, having to deal with your technology stack, right? Try and keep up with that. So that's why it's hugely important to have somebody, guys, like restaurant technology consultants, so restaurant technology that at once. Correct me if I'm wrong, Julio. That some tech company had reached out to one of your restaurants, and the restaurant just ordered them to use. You're their marketing guy, right? You're their tech and marketing guy.
That was with DoorDash.
DoorDash, yeah. So that's right, like that type of relationship is hugely beneficial and hugely valuable, to the restaurant, and that's how you build, real strong and lasting relationship moving on. Anyway, that's my soapbox on that.
And actually, it's business over. Is one of my clients, the Alfonso's breakfast burritos. They used to have another company that did pretty much the same thing that we do, but I think it's like a Chinese company, because their support, like if you call the number, they don't speak English or Spanish or nothing. It's just like they just want to text you, because that's how they translate the communication.
Oh, wow.
And they do the same thing. They even have the actual domain. Like if you have alfonsosbreakfastburritos.com, they bought the domain and it's under there. So what I did, I noticed that he had another domain, and I pretty much took over the everything. So now we replaced the Google, we replaced everything. And I think I even screenshot one time when I sent you that the business owner sent me the screenshot that he got, that if they could please remove that person, which it was you guys on the Google profile. But that's one of the main reasons, because they literally just came in and installed the online ordering, and that's it. Like they didn't do nothing else. But the reason why I won it over is because I've been helping them increase their sales. Like I've been there. So when it came to that, they literally were like, yeah, let's just, work with you. Process of also gaining their POS services in the future. So my main goal when doing business with a restaurant is not just to become the guy that works for the social media, or the guy that, install their online ordering. I become a partner. So now they got this, they offer me this, or they offer me that. And I can be like, oh, I offer this,
Yeah.
And I tell them, like, I'm very transparent. But I was like, not just because I sell it, but I show them the benefits and everything. That's how I win them over.
Exactly. I love that, Julio. And some people listening to that may have a concern about scalability, right? But I want to put your minds at ease. One, in the beginning, when you don't have a ton of clients, it's totally cool, acceptable, and preferable to do things that don't scale, right? Because like you're just trying to get traction. So if that restaurant can't verify the Google business listing, and that's not a service you offer, but you can like just do it, right? You might not get paid for it, but you're building goodwill. But two, as front sales part and the consulting part, the ongoing, maybe you'll get a phone call like that. You can always have VAs, research requests come in, but most of the delivery, as far as like active menus and the products that we offer, most of the delivery, right? So adding more restaurants on does not increase the delivery costs or anything like that for you guys because we're handling people to keep the software up or to put in orders or anything like that. So it is very scalable, and it gives you, because we handle all that, it gives you the time to spend building the relationship with the restaurants, which I think is really cool. Thanks for sharing.
No, and sorry, like, people are gonna think that I'm part of you guys making the presentation, but at the end of the day, we are all business owners, and literally, like, one of the things that I hate to hear from people is that's not my job phrase. When you're a business owner and you are trying to build a relationship with a business owner, that phrase should be completely out of your vocabulary. You have to do everything and anything that they ask you for. But if it's in your capability, do it. Like right now, one of the business that is coming on board with me, he needed to change some pricing on the menu and everything. And the guy that designed the menu, every time he has to do a fix or something, he charged them for it. And I was like, wait, what's your menu? Is it like a digital menu? He's like, no, it's my paper menu. It's like, do you have the PDF? I'm like, he's like, yeah, he sends it to me every time I request a change. I'm like, just send it to me. I'll change whatever you want to get changed, and I'll do it for you. He's like, how much will you charge me? I'm like, don't worry about it. I got you. If it's and things like that, I'll do it for you. And as a matter of fact, what I did is I did the changes. I send him the Canva link. He has the direct access so that he can do the changes himself. And do like that right there, he's like super grateful, even though it was something so simple. He was very grateful for that because I just wanted to be like, no, not like, I'm sorry for that guy, but now he's not gonna get paid anymore. But I'm trying my client save money, so I did what I had to do to help him.
Yeah, servant's heart, Julio, and I really respect you for that. And he that can be trusted with small things can be trusted with big things, right? The small things, like you just were, and then the restaurant owner will, of course, trust you with bigger decisions. We're coming up to the end of our time here. Dan, I wanted to make sure, did we answer your questions in the pricing option well enough?
Yeah, I believe so. I would do the drive area where I can pull it up and get more in depth to it.
We don't, yeah. Ani, we need to come up with some material on that. I don't think we have some really good material on that monthly payment system yet, but that's something that we'll work on, and we'll get some stuff in there for you.
Cool.
Just to give you a heads up, on the in the portal for the what is it called? The resellers portal for the pricing and sales material, it goes to the site cannot be reached. I meant to tell you that.
Oh, really? That's not good.
Material, yeah.
10-4. Well, thank you for that. We'll look into it.
Okay.
Yeah, what link was that doesn't work?
Right.
Yeah, the sales material inside of the resellers portal.
All of them or just one of them?
Pricing, the active menu cost. Yeah, all of them, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, we'll look at that. Yeah, we'll have more materials. I'll get with you, Brian, on the monthly. I'm just going to share this real quick before we hop off, but this was like one of the templates. For instance, if you're targeting pizza, it's like a us versus slice comparison. And if you're pushing a monthly, then transparent pricing, no hidden fees, no commissions ever. And then you enter in your monthly fee. Then you can put in your logo here and your name, and then just print these out like flyers, two-sided. So this is the kind of stuff too that we're going to create more of. Comparison, but then it's also cuisine specific, and then you can tell.
Cam, are you on there now? Click the open button for me. Not on the picture, on the actual open button.
Oh, okay. So that's the difference. So when you click on the picture, it doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah, so Ani, when you click on the picture, it tries to open the picture, which it can't. So I don't, after that, but we'll look into it.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.